Spider-Man No Way Home was my most anticipated movie of 2021 and the hype around this film was insane. इस मूवी के बारे में कितने सारे रूमर्स थे कि इस मूवी में डॉक्टर ऑक्टोपस, ग्रीन गॉब्लिन, हैरी पॉटर, जॉन विक, श्रेक, जेम्स बॉन्ड, ऑप्टिमस प्राइम, डोमिनिक टोरेटो ये सब आने वाले हैं। पर आज हम उन्हीं लोगों के बारे में बात करेंगे जो इस मूवी में सचमुच आए। This is going to be a spoiler-filled review of No Way Home, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, you can go and check out the non-spoiler review on my channel through the link in the description below. And watch this video after watching the movie because this is going to be really fun and really intense. Hey guys, I'm Amir and welcome to Chalchitra Talks. Spider-Man No Way Home is a celebration for Spider-Man fans and I don't think we could have gotten a better ending to this beautiful trilogy. स्ट्रेंज को पता चलता है कि जो लोग दूसरे यूनिवर्सेस में जानते हैं कि पीटर पार्कर स्पाइडरमैन है वो इस यूनिवर्स में आ जाते हैं, बट इस लॉजिक से इलेक्ट्रो तो यहाँ होना नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि इलेक्ट्रो को कभी भी नहीं पता चला था कि पीटर पार्कर स्पाइडरमैन है। This film actually feels like an Avengers team-up movie for these Spidey villains because they have been established so well in their respective films, so we don't need to spend any time knowing them, we just have to enjoy the conversations between them. This entire scene in Happy's condo felt like it was straight out of a Tarantino film because all the pieces to create a thrilling scene are present. All the villains are in one place with Peter and Aunt May alone. Lizard is waiting in the van down. J. Jonah Jameson arrives a few minutes later in his van to expose Peter. In the interaction between Doc Ock and Norman Osborn, we sense that the Goblin might come through any time now. In the beginning of the scene, Peter gives Electro a device to dissipate the electricity in his body and it begins beeping. With all of this happening simultaneously, we feel that something is wrong, and as soon as the Spidey sense starts tingling, we get this beautiful tracking shot of Peter with the vertigo effect. And just when all hell is about to break loose, the beeping of Electro's device reaches a crescendo. That's what I call a well-directed sequence. John Watts ने इस मूवी में vertigo dolly zoom का यूज करके Spidey sense को एक विजुअल स्टाइल दिया है जो टोबी और एंड्रू के फिल्म से बहुत डिफरेंट है क्योंकि उन मूवीज में सिर्फ एक साउंड इफेक्ट यूज किया था। Here, Aunt May is the moral compass who teaches Peter that it is his responsibility to help each and every person he can. And this doesn't feel tacked on at all since they showed Aunt May helping homeless people in Far From Home, so all of it ties up really well. And it isn't Aunt May's death that makes us emotional, but the reaction of Peter and especially Happy that breaks our hearts. As she died, I had a flashback of Tony's death in Endgame and realized how well they have constructed Happy's arc. In Homecoming, he was annoyed at Peter, then eventually in Far From Home, he became his mentor and started liking Aunt May, maybe even loved her. So we also feel that he has lost the two most important people in his life and by the end of the film he also forgets Peter. तो हमें पता नहीं है कि उसके पास अब कौन बाकी है. After that we cut to the reaction of Ned and MJ who are also sad for Peter and want to see him, and I suddenly realized that in a popcorn MCU film we have a 10-minute long sequence which is just lingering over a death of a person. MCU is infamous for cutting dramatic sequences for a joke or a comedic scene. Here that doesn't happen at all and they let the dramatic and emotional moments flow, which is just amazing. We see that Ned has a sling ring and क्योंकि हमने Endgame और Doctor Strange movie देखा है तो हमें पता है कि sling ring से portals खुलते हैं. So as Ned and MJ wish to see Peter Parker, Ned opens up a portal and we see a silhouette of a Spider-Man, but we know it isn't our Peter Parker who is actually worn out after his fight with Green Goblin. And then we see the big eyes and then the werewolf appears. Andrew Garfield finally appears in this movie. And to top it, Tobey Maguire appears and this is the moment where the theater begins to turn into a stadium. This brings me back to the point that this is a celebration for Spider-Man fans and the theatrical experience. If you would have watched this movie for the first time at home, I bet you wouldn't have the same reaction that you had when you watched it in the theater. And that is the power of the theatrical experience. You can't help yourself and you start cheering and clapping because you are surrounded by people who share your love for Tobey, Andrew and the phenomena that is Spider-Man. And in a way you all were with me in that theater because we all experienced and went through the same emotions in this moment. And I have to say that this is cinema. But Andrew Garfield might just be my favorite Spidey and Peter Parker after this movie because he just plays the character so effortlessly. Tobey on the other hand felt like he was playing himself and not the Peter Parker we know. This lab scene is so well written because we get to see these three Spider-Men work together and tell each other about themselves, and we kind of get a sense of where Tobey and Andrew have been since their last films. Tobey is still trying to make his relationship with his MJ work while Andrew has become bitter and feels alone after Gwen's death. So this film not only rewards you for being a Spider-Man fan for the last 20 years, but it also gives a definite ending to these characters whose arcs were actually left incomplete. The banter between them about who has fought which villain, how does Toby refill his organic web shooters, Tom telling them that he's an Avenger, Andrew helping Toby with his back problem, all three Spider-Man jumping, swinging and landing together. All of this was what we paid our money for. And I love the fact that they didn't put the three Spider-Men just for the last action sequence. They put them to help Tom's Peter not make the mistakes that they made and to help him understand the responsibility of being Spider-Man. Even though Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home are fun MCU films and high school films, they aren't anywhere close to being true Spider-Man films. And this is the film where Tom Holland's Peter Parker finally gets a Spider-Man arc. There is a burden that comes with trying to live two different lives. The choices that he makes might cost him the people closest to him, but he still needs to choose to do the right thing, because with great power must also come great responsibility. This is a true Spider-Man film, not because it has three Spider-Men, but because it follows all the beats of a true Spider-Man story. And in a way, this is the origin story of Peter Parker, who has now finally become Spider-Man from Spider-Boy. और ये कितना fascinating है, क्योंकि normally हम origin stories beginning of the story से associate करते हैं, पर यहाँ हमें origin story पूरे story के end में मिलती है, पूरे trilogy के end में मिलती है. So in a way, the previous two films are actually precursors to an origin story, and they help to tell fun adventures in the MCU with Spider-Man in them. इस मूवी में और भी प्लॉट कन्वीनियंसेस है जिनमें मैं घुसना नहीं चाहता, क्योंकि ऑल द पॉजिटिव्स इन दिस फिल्म आउटवे द नेगेटिव्स. आई कैन जस्ट कीप टॉकिंग अबाउट द मोमेंट्स दैट आई लव्ड इन दिस फिल्म, व्हिच विल मेक दिस वीडियो एन आवर लॉन्गर. सो आई जस्ट से दैट Spider-Man No Way Home didn't promise us the greatest film ever made. It promised us a fun comic book blockbuster, which it delivered, while also adding so many emotions and giving us a chance to experience arguably the best theatrical experience ever. Please tell me in the comments below your favorite moment from Spider-Man No Way Home. And before going, I just want to say that the three Spider-Men hugging each other is the best thing that I will ever see. So guys, if you like this video, please like and share this video and subscribe to Chalchitra Talks for more content like this.